Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Moms View. We were just talking about, like, do we have updates to give everybody?
I'm sure I could come up with something.
Like, our lives are so popping and happening. Like, I just got a shelf last night. I'm pretty excited about it.
For where?
Target.
No, for where?
Oh.
For where in your
I'm
home?
not sure. I just have wanted, it's like those, like, it sounds stupid to say it's a stacking shelf because all shelves do that. But it's like that open concept with like the wire, I don't know. Just stay tuned on my Instagram, you can see them.
Okay. I'll
I
stalk
got
you.
a new couch. I'm kind of like changing the
love your
vibe. You do?
couch.
Thank you.
I want to see it in real life.
It's like a blue velvet. So when you sit in it at the end of the day, you just feel like
it's really
being hugged by an angel.
Carly's wanted a blue couch for so long.
I wanted green, but then I thought it was a little too edgy, so I'm like blue.
You wanted a blue couch before then. I swear you've been talking about a blue couch for such a long time.
I think green tempted me, and then I went back to blue.
Green was like super trendy.
Yes.
I wanted a
Anthropology
green.
has
Yeah.
so many cute green couches right now.
I almost did a green couch too.
Like a bright olivey green. I still love that like retro.
Yeah.
And then that place you just got your furniture article, I also was looking at like a leather couch from there, but
They have a really good furniture.
furniture is addicting. Like once you start, you're like,
I'm just like, once I got it, we're just good
I know,
for a while.
like done.
I am good
Furniture,
for a while.
I'm opposite. I'm like, it stresses me out.
me too, but it's like,
such a big
I
project.
second guess.
but don't you get it? And then you're like, you love it, but you're like, is it still right? And then I keep looking, it's like, just be happy with what you have.
No, now I'm like, maybe my dining chairs are too big. I was actually like, I'll talk to the girls about this because, you know,
I put it on
it's just like
Instagram.
this one long room. And so now I feel like the dining table just seems like so big and cluttered.
You're right. You should give it to me.
I love my dining set.
Yeah.
Also, the fabric is really great because you can clean it. Everything comes off. I have to clean
like
it
microfibery.
95 times a day because my kids are slobs.
You know, like in the 70s when it was cool to have plastic over things?
Yeah.
We should bring it back.
Because you can't scrub it. The material is amazing. You can scrub
like
it,
a
but you
microfiber?
can't just like
Yeah.
wipe it like plastic.
Wouldn't that be so awesome on our couches?
Or you can have just regular chairs like me and you just still don't wipe them off.
Guys, we'll call
They're
it
still messy.
furniture condoms. Guys, that's a thing.
I love how excited you were about that. This is
I
an
wanted to start
amazing
a
idea,
business.
guys.
Furniture condoms 101. You can get any size for any couch.
Do it.
I love you.
Sorry, I'll grow up someday.
On another note, I've been sewing.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, Martha. It's freaking awesome.
So happy about it. Well, I got a sewing machine like 2 years ago for Christmas from Shay, and I wanted it and I begged for it, and then I never touched
It's
it.
the same thing.
Story
I
of my
wanted a
life.
bread maker, not last Christmas because that was just barely, but the Christmas before. It's still in the box, but I really want to use it. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna. I'm gonna
I
text you when I
finally
do.
used my bread maker too, and I love it because I don't bake bread, but my bread maker does, and then it smells really good in the house. But anyway, so Emmy actually came to me. She's like, "Mom, I really want to make this," and she saw this little unicorn craft that you buy socks from the dollar store, and you like sew them, and you, anyways. And
You made that?
No, she did it.
She made that?
So we went, so I was inspired by her because I was like, I'm going to show her that she can do this. And I've taught her how to sew by hand. And so I got my sewing machine out and realized that, that's not going to help her because she's going to sew it by hand. And anyways, I was like, I'm going to sew too. That's what inspired me. So we went to the store and we got all the stuff. And I used to make these little lizards. When I was a little kid, I got a beanbag
baby
lizard.
lizards?
No, it was like a beanbag, like a, like full of
Yes,
beans
I know
or
what
rice.
you're saying. Yep, I played with those.
And it was like, it's supposed to sit on your shoulder and it's like just cute.
Colette's at Fred Meyer. Just shopping in Fred Meyer, Colette and her lizard.
Yep, my lizard. But anyways, I used to love them, and my kids liked mine when I was like going through my keepsakes. So I cut out a pattern and we went to the store and we bought fabric for the boys to make lizards because they wanted lizards. So we came home and Emmy made her unicorn and I made lizards for the boys, and she seriously did it like 95% by herself.
Watch out, Project Runway. And they's coming
and
for
she
you.
did not quit. It took her like 4 hours, but she's like, I'm gonna finish this. And it's
so cool.
I'll take a picture. Watch Instagram. I'll show
I
you.
saw it on Instagram.
Okay.
And it was, I had no idea she made that by herself.
She did.
It was really good.
Anyways, that's my update. We sewed lizards and unicorns.
You guys, okay, so I went to Hawaii. Before I left, I was thinking, I was trying to be in the right state of mind. I was like, okay, Hawaii. The first thing I thought of, because I'm a girl and maybe I'm the only one who thinks this way, but I was like, swimming suits. Oh my gosh. I ordered 20 swimming suits. They didn't even get there in time. They got there after I left to flipping Hawaii. But I told myself this. I said, listen, it was the holidays. I wasn't working out. I wasn't eating. And I knew that was going to like try to catch up with me. And I was like, I'm just going to go to Hawaii and not even worry about how I look or care about any of that. I just want to have fun with my family and play with my kids in the sand, which I'm always caring about how I look. It's like a bad relationship I have with myself that I can admit that I'm trying to break. And it was such like to recognize that in myself before I went. And it sounds so trivial. It's like, who cares? You're going to Hawaii. Like, first world problems, Carly.
It's not trivial. You have to honor all of your
goods and bad parts of you,
thinking.
right?
Yeah, it's okay.
So when I got there, I was doing really good. And then what sparked this topic for the moms I want to talk about today was like, I wanted to talk about that and how sometimes, you know, like we are our worst critic and we write the hardest scenarios for ourselves and we compare ourselves online and we think that if we're not meeting up to these expectations we have for ourselves, then we're failing. And it's really hard to do as women, and it's really hard to do on social media because we're trying to portray something inspiring or beautiful for, you know, if you have a following or whatever. And anyways, I was at the pool one day and my kids were swimming and I found this article and it was about a girl. She's from Australia and she's 27 and she had just found out that she had bone cancer. And she basically kind of wrote a letter to herself and to the world about things that she wishes she would have focused on, but kind of being like, I literally am watching my body waste before my eyes. And sometimes we get caught up in these things that don't matter, that are so trivial. And I just wanted to share some of them with you guys and then see what you guys thought about them. We'll leave the link for the actual article down below in the description box because it's really good and you should read the whole thing. But one thing that really stood out to me is she said, value other people's times. Don't keep them waiting because you are shit at being on time. And I'm the worst. And I'm always like, sorry. And I always have an excuse. And I realized that sometimes like you're not valuing other people when you're late all the time. And that stood out to me. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to be more on time. And then she said something about who you follow on social media affects you, even if they're your friends. And she was like, you need to fight fiercely for your life. And if you're following or interacting with people who don't make you feel good about yourself, and she was like, unfollow them and just cut it off. And she's like, and it's not their fault, but you need to fight for your life and the things that inspire you. And I love that because sometimes I think in social media we like follow these accounts that don't really do anything for you, and then
or they are destructive almost,
right, instead of inspiring. She just says so many good things. She was saying that she was like, you know, tell the people that you love, tell the people in your life that you love them. Like you never know when it's going to be your last moment or when you're going to be this healthy 27-year-old woman and you wake up and you're told that you have days left. And she was talking about loving and honoring her body and how, you know, we've worried about stretch marks and cellulite and all these things we want to change about ourselves. And she's like, now I'm literally watching my body wither away from health. And who cares? Like, and in your last days on earth or your last moments, you're not going to care about your cellulite or if you have stretch marks or if you're not the size 2 or if you don't have a 6-pack. And that just like hit me so hard. I'm like, here I am in Hawaii watching my little boys play together and it's almost like this card, I'm watching a part of my life that's not real. And how many of us women sit on the sidelines because we feel so insecure or we don't feel like we're good enough or we don't have this body that should be shown or cherished or honored. And after I read that, I was like, life is too short not to celebrate, even if you have stretch marks or cellulite or whatever. And I just love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I'm so grateful that you shared that today because I just think it's such a great message to take into this new year. Yeah. Like, be kinder to yourself. Put yourself out there. For so many years, I watched my kids swim, and I didn't swim with them. And it was really hard for me when I put a swimsuit on and swam with my kids. It was hard.
It is.
But I forced myself to. And I'm so much happier, like, because it's true. Who cares? I have cellulite.
Yeah. I have stretch marks. Like,
maybe it will make someone else feel better.
And it's funny because it's not funny, but when I see another woman at the pool with stretch marks, I never judge. I'm like, ew, you have them too. No, like, yeah. It's like, I'm like, oh, good for you. You're like honoring your body. That's awesome. Yep. I love that. I used to not even be able to say the word stretch mark. It like felt like this burning vomit coming out of my mouth. And now I'm like, yep, I have them, whatever, you know? Yeah.
I just came across an Instagram account and it's this woman and she's beautiful and she had a swimsuit on and she in the comment, or in her comment, she said, "I'm not brave for posting this picture of myself." And it was a picture taken from the back. And she said, "I've been called curvy, fat, overweight, obese, like all of these things my whole life. I'm none of those things. I'm a woman. This is my body."
Yeah.
And that was so inspiring to me, because it's true, like, and I'm guilty of it too, like, oh, she's a little bit bigger, she's like, good for her for posting that and not caring. But we shouldn't even think that way. Like, that shouldn't even be like, oh, good for her, because like,
we're
like,
conditioned.
hello. Well, yeah, we are. And it's a really sad thing. We should seriously just take care of our bodies, like she said, like, nourish our bodies, take care of our bodies, don't obsess over them.
Yeah.
Treat them good and be grateful, because our bodies are amazing things.
Yes.
They're beautiful, and they're all unique. And how awesome is that? And just take good care of it. And that's been something that I wanted to take into 2018, because I don't. Like, I eat a lot of bad food, drink a whole lot of Dr. Pepper. and that's not like taking care of my body. I don't want to lose weight. I don't want to do any of those things, but I want to like love my body.
Right. By putting the things in it that it needs, like the good things.
Yeah, and exercise. And she even said that, like, stop whining about like not being able to exercise. Stop whining about all of these things, and just
Celebrate what your body can do.
Yeah.
She even brought out the point, like, on days where we feel so overwhelmed with stress. And I try to remind myself with these, like, you know, just the days your kids don't stop crying and you feel like you're knocking everything over, and it's just like everything's falling out of your pack, and you just feel like, oh, by the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? There's so many women who would just die to have a kid to stress over. And I just think having that mentality of always the flip side. And she was talking about that, and she's like, you know, stop whining. You have to go to work. Some people don't have jobs and they can't go to work. Like, be grateful you have a job. And I think that if we had that mentality when we woke up, or we just like had a moment where we had a little self-check, it would just change our attitude and the quality of our life. You know?
Yeah.
I think I don't know, when I focus on that, sometimes when I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't be upset about this, then I start to feel guilty. And I know we've talked about this before, but I think I loved what she said. She said, eat the cake, no guilt. Or like, eat the cake, period, no guilt, period. And I guess that's one of the things that I've really been focusing on, is no guilt, because I think that's where I get stuck. You know, I don't know, like, we do judge ourselves. It's just human nature that we hate ourselves. It's so stupid, but it's true. Like, everyone is fragmented in ways where we strip away the parts of ourselves that we don't think that we should be, and we judge those parts, and we dehumanize those parts, and we try to change those parts. And it's not until we can accept who we are, what we are, that we can make steps towards living a more abundant, free life.
Right.
You know, and I guess that's because as I read her thing, I'm like, how do you do all of that?
Like, I know, like, that even just sounds like a lot.
Like, that frame of mind, I think it takes work every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the main things that it hit me is, I heard a quote once that was that gratitude transforms fear, I think. Or there is no fear where there's gratitude. Like, when you can have that attitude of gratitude, but sometimes it's so hard. Like, you're in the moment and you're just like, I'm so grateful for this. I'm not grateful. I hate myself. You know, it's like so hard to make that jump to gratitude. But I think if you start to focus on an abundance instead of a scarcity mentality, like thinking, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm going to sit down and make a list of all the things I do have. And it starts to make little shifts. And I've tried to do a gratitude journal, like every night, force myself to write 5 things that I'm grateful for. And sometimes it's really, really hard.
You always have me, Carly.
Yes. And it's interesting because then I feel guilty. I'm like, oh my gosh, Colette, you're such a brat. Like, you can't think of anything that you're grateful for. And then I start to feel bad about myself. But if you get rid of the guilt, and you start to think, okay, what am I grateful for? Okay, I got to snuggle Daxton tonight, and that was so fun. I'm grateful for snuggling Daxton. You know, like little things. It doesn't have to be a huge life-changing event or moment, but just the tiny little things. And when you start to focus and force yourself to write a certain number, I can feel the shift.
Right.
I literally feel it happen.
Like, it's like literally uplifting you.
Yes.
I think also after reading everything that she had wrote, it almost seemed like in her last days, it wasn't anything profound that she was going to miss on this earth. It was the small things, like the little things that you're talking about. Like she's just talking about girls fussing about their makeup and going out and having this night. And she was like, wake up early and just listen to the birds. Like, when's the last time you woke up just to listen to the birds sing or watch the sunset come up? And it's so ironic that the big magnitude things in life, like maybe getting your dream car or your dream job, aren't actually going to really matter in the end. It's going to be the small things that maybe might make the biggest difference in your life.
And I love that she said, like, tell the people in your life that you love them. And I think sometimes that feels so vulnerable when you feel like so strongly, like, I just love you so much. Like, I just really want you to know that, because we live in this world that, like, that feels kind of foreign sometimes.
And it feels scary. Like, what if it's not received?
That doesn't even matter. Just give it anyways. Just let it out there. Because
I love that.
Yeah. Because I just think, like, those, like, you want the people in your life to know.
Because when you're dying and when you're in those moments, I can't imagine you will have any grudges.
Yeah.
I feel like it will be this like tranquility feeling where you'll just want neutrality in your life for everybody that maybe has ever wronged you, or that's not what you're going to take with you to your grave.
Yeah, you'll definitely let that go. And she did say, like, let go. Just let it go.
Let it go.
This seems kind of like not hippy-dippy, but I just also thought like her parents published this after she had passed, and I just thought, as a mom, like, I can't even talk about it without. Can you imagine, like, that's the letter that your daughter left for the world? As a mom, or a parent, you just feel like, she got it. Like, even though her life was cut short, she got everything in this life that she needed to get to take with her. Like, what a cherishing moment for those parents to have that from their daughter. I just thought that's so cool.
It really is beautiful.
Can't talk about anything, Mother. I hope I'm not pregnant because everything is like so emotional. I cried on Fixer Upper last night. Like, can you imagine just coming home to your house that says pretty, and Jackson was like, go take a pregnancy test. Like, no, I'm not doing it. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like sometimes when you're looking behind the lens on social media, so much seems prettier and more put together and just this life that you don't have, but really life is messy, and I think that that's beautiful. And I hope that that's what we portray on the Moms U. It's just like real, genuine chicks, you know, that don't have it all together, and we don't know everything.
Don't.
And I say
We have great lipstick color, but we don't have it all together.
And I sell it, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you that before I made a video. Like, don't hate me at your grave. I sell lip scents. I'm sorry.
And we really like it too.
Like,
I love that
it's
came
fine, you know?
It is fine. It's totally fine.
And I say you know a lot, but it's
I
fine.
do too. It's totally fine.
It's so funny. I was driving and I was listening to the 90s channel because I just love the 90s.
I turned it on after you told me
It's
listen
so
to
good.
it.
And this song came up, and I remember when it came out, it was for like the class of 99, and it was like, wear sunscreen. This is one thing I know for sure. And then it like goes through all of these things like,
Wear
you know, like eat the cake, like it gives all of this advice. And he was like, well, he started like, wear sunscreen. That is one thing that I know for sure, like you should do and follow. The rest of these things is just my advice. And I was listening to it and I was like, I wish I could tell my younger self that, because it was he was giving advice to the graduating class of 99. And he was like, I promise one day that you'll look back and miss your youth, or like look back at pictures and you're not as fat as you think you are, like all of these things. And I would, you know, and it was a lot of good advice.
It goes by quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a lot of younger viewers who ask us, like, if you could give yourself any advice, or how do you get through the hard times in high school? And you know, those hard times might suck really bad right now, but they might be like your building blocks to the greatest person that you're going to become. So just endure them and don't cut them short.
They will be for sure, your building blocks.
You'll get zits, you'll have people who bully you. Like, it's just part of, it's not fun, but it's part of life. And if you have that attitude of gratitude, it takes the being afraid away, and it makes you just like a good person.
Yeah, that I was thinking about this because now having teenagers, life is different and it's scary. And Casey and I actually were up all night one night just talking about Braylee and like fears for her. And you know, Casey's like terrified about having a teenage daughter, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you know, she's gonna make mistakes. Our kids are gonna make mistakes. And he's like, no, I don't want them to. I don't want them to go through that pain. And I was like, they're gonna, and you know, we can just be here for them. But I was thinking, like, I want Braylee to read that. Yeah. And to just hear from so many places, like, these are the things that you should do, and these are the things that are important. Because you know, when you're and like she'll maybe take a little bit of that in when you're a teenager. You're just like, no, this is important right now.
This whole thing is my other world.
But and a lot of those things I try to tell her, but then I was also thinking I need to tell myself those things more often.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. That's why I'm like, I want to share. It's such a good reminder, and what a beautiful woman to share that piece of her heart in those last moments. So cool.
I love this, Carly. Thank you.
Just did not mean to cry or swear today, but that makes a good day.
It is a good day.
We love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys check out this article. We'll leave it down in the description box, and we will see you next time on The Mom's You. Thanks for watching.
Bye.